Boy, am I glad I am not a betting man because, this week definitely threw all my predictions out the window.
Mike White, hot! 34-31, the Jets win it!
That may have been the craziest week of the young 2021 NFL season. With 8 weeks now in the books, here is where all 32 teams land in our Week 9 power rankings. Number 32, Detroit Lions. Last time's ranking, 32. Nothing new to see here. They're still on track for the first overall pick, but yikes, things got real ugly in Week 8. A 44-6 blowout home loss at home to the Eagles? This looked like a team that was still deflated following last week's heartbreaking loss to Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Number 31, Houston Texans. Last time's ranking, 31. The Lions are the worst team in the NFL right now, but the Texans are not far behind. As expected, they were no match for the Los Angeles Rams in Week 8. Can you blame their fans for not even bothering to show up? Up next is a visit to the one-win Dolphins. Looks like one of these terrible teams is gonna get their second win of the season. Number 30, Jacksonville Jaguars. Last time's ranking, 28. Well, that was embarrassing. Facing a Seahawks team that dropped 3 in a row without their star quarterback, Jacksonville was dominated from start to finish, scoring just a single garbage time touchdown in a 31-7 loss. Hopefully, James Robinson's okay. That offense is a disaster without him. Number 29, Miami Dolphins. Last time's ranking, 30. The Dolphins actually put up a fight on the road against Buffalo, but they ultimately fell to the AFC East leaders 26-11. Another sluggish performance by Tua Tagovailoa, who's not looking anything like the star we saw at Alabama. Jalen Waddle was a non-factor again, and the Miami pass rush brought Josh Allen down 0 times. Looks like Brian Flores is about to become the latest disciple of Belichick to fail on his own. Number 28, Washington Football Team. Last time's ranking, 27. 2021 is shaping up to be perhaps the most disastrous season under Dan Snyder's ownership. And boy, that's saying a lot, because most years under this man have been forgettable. The latest knock was a 17-10 road loss to a Denver Broncos team that had dropped 4 in a row. Should we put out an APB for Chase Young? Has anyone seen him this season? Number 27, New York Giants. Last time's ranking, 24. And credit the Giants for hanging in there with the Chiefs despite all the injuries, but you still would have liked to see Daniel Jones and company put up more than 17 points against that Chiefs D. The G-men should be getting Barkley and Golladay back soon, but this season is a wash. They're probably better off shutting everyone down and putting themselves in the best possible position to draft a franchise quarterback next year. Number 26, New York Jets. Last time's ranking, 29. Upset of the week. No, check that. Upset of the season. Some dude by the name of Mike White made his first career NFL start in place of an injured Zach Wilson, and boy, all he did was complete 37 passes for 405 yards and 3 touchdowns in an upset win over the red-hot Bengals. I mean, you gotta love this stat. Could there be a QB controversy unfolding in Gotham? Let's see what White does for an encore against the Colts on Thursday night. Number 25, Chicago Bears. Last time's ranking, 20. Credit to Justin Fields for hanging in there against an angry San Francisco 49ers team. But a loss is a loss, and the Bears' usually stingy defense has been a no-show in consecutive weeks now. Keep an eye on if ownership decides to fire Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy mid-season, or if they'll just do it at the end of the year. Number 24, Atlanta Falcons. Last time's ranking, 19. Ooh, what a letdown. Atlanta had a chance to move above .500, and they fell at home to an unraveling Carolina Panthers club that had dropped 4 in a row and lost Sam Darnold in the 4th quarter with a concussion. This offense really misses Calvin Ridley, but he's doing what needs to be done for his well-being. We're sending our best out to him. Hope he gets well. Mental health is no joke. Number 23, Philadelphia Eagles. Last time's ranking, 26. A shellacking of a helpless Lions team isn't usually cause for celebration. Philly racked up a whopping 236 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. Jalen Hurts only had to complete 9 passes for 103 yards, and the Eagles still beat Detroit by 38. If only they could play the Lions every week. Number 22, Indianapolis Colts. Last time's ranking, 18. No team should feel more disappointed this week than the Colts. They had that game against the Tennessee Titans in the bag until they didn't. Carson Wentz picked a bad day to rack up the turnovers that he had magnificently avoided for the first 7 weeks. At this point, it'll take a miracle for them to get one of the 3 wildcard spots. Number 21, Seattle Seahawks. Last time's ranking, 25. Yes, it's the Jaguars, but hey, Seattle fans will take whatever they can after a miserable 3-game losing streak. Geno Smith bounced back well after a rough outing on Monday Night Football 6 days earlier. Gotta credit the Seahawks for showing lots of fight without Russell Wilson. And hey, the race for that final NFC wildcard spot is still wide open. If Russ returns soon enough, Seattle could totally go on a run here. Number 20, Denver Broncos. Last time's ranking, 22. The Broncos won a defensive slugfest against Washington to snap a 4-game losing streak, keeping their playoff hopes somewhat alive. It was a great 24 hours for this team, to say the least. A day after beating Washington, they snagged 2022 second and third rounders from the Los Angeles Rams for franchise icon Von Miller. It's a great haul given his age and the fact he'll be a free agent. Always tough to say goodbye to a fan favorite, but those picks should help Denver's rebuild. Number 19, Carolina Panthers. Last time's ranking, 21. A nice bounce-back victory for a Carolina team that, like Denver, had dropped 4 in a row. The defense completely stymied Matt Ryan, but their continuous struggles on offense need to be addressed, and fast. A healthy Christian McCaffrey would go a long way towards enhancing their playoff push. Number 18, Minnesota Vikings. Last time's ranking, 14. If the Colts aren't winning the Blown Opportunity of the Week award, it's the Vikings. They were at home on national television against a Dallas Cowboys team that was without their starting quarterback. And yet, they still couldn't stop backup QB Cooper Rush from hitting Amari Cooper in the back of the end zone for a game-winning touchdown with less than a minute remaining. This loss should reignite the whole Kirk Cousins can't win against good teams or on primetime narrative. Number 17, San Francisco 49ers. Last time's ranking, 23. Jimmy Garoppolo turned in his best performance of the year, throwing for a season-best 322 passing yards on just 17 completions, to go along with 2 rushing touchdowns. The 3-4 49ers remain very much alive in the NFC playoff race, but they have a big challenge ahead of them when the Cardinals come to town off a mini bye next Sunday. Number 16, Cleveland Browns. Last time's ranking, 13. Only fitting that the Browns would have to relive a 2-decade-long nightmare on Halloween as they suffered another loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. The injury-ravaged Browns have now lost 3 of their last 4, and it doesn't get any easier as they still have 2 games against both the Bengals and Ravens, plus meetings with Pittsburgh, New England, Las Vegas, and Green Bay. Number 15, Kansas City Chiefs. Last time's ranking, 16. Sure, they won, but it shouldn't have been that hard against a terrible Giants team that is missing a ton of starters. Their defense is one of the worst units we've ever seen, and even the offense looks out of sorts for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era. Have opposing teams finally figured him out? Is he playing hurt? Something's not right with the former MVP and his offense. It's up to Andy Reid to figure things out quick if this team wants to return to the postseason. Number 14, Los Angeles Chargers. Last time's ranking, 11. That's 2 straight losses for the Chargers. Their offense just wasn't in sync during a mistake-filled 27-24 loss to the Patriots. 3 picks for Justin Herbert in the last 2 games, and his completion percentage was below 60% in both of those contests. We hate asking this, but are the Chargers, well, chargering? Number 13, Cincinnati Bengals. Last time's ranking, 8. We hate dropping the Bengals this low, but they just lost to a Jets team with a backup QB making his first NFL start. Lou Anarumo's much-improved defense was nowhere to be seen on Sunday afternoon. Joe Burrow threw a costly interception. Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase were both quiet, just when it looked like this team was ready to take that next step and win the division. Number 12, New England Patriots. Last time's ranking, 17. Statement made. The Patriots are back. For the second straight year, Bill Belichick's game plan frustrated Justin Herbert and kept the Chargers' dynamic passing game in check. Mac Jones is getting better each week. Kendrick Bourne and Hunter Henry are coming around in the passing game. Damian Harris continues to lead a strong rushing attack. This right here is a legitimate playoff contender, and the rest of the AFC should take notice. Number 11, Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time's ranking, 15. Sorry for doubting the Steelers after they fell to 1-3. There's a reason why Mike Tomlin hasn't had a losing season yet. You have to admire the mental toughness of his squad. Pittsburgh put up a giant statement win on the road against the Browns. Ben Roethlisberger, Najee Harris, and the O-line are all showing signs of life after a brutal 4-game stretch to open the season. And that's all the Steelers need from their offense. Just be decent. TJ Watt and the defense will take care of the rest. Number 10, New Orleans Saints. Last time's ranking, 12. So, how about them Saints? Down to their third stringer for most of Sunday's game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? No problem. Trevor Siemian. Remember him? Throttled Tampa Bay's defense. Speaking of defense, Dennis Allen's group once again dominated Tom Brady, picking him off twice and recording 3 sacks, one of them being a strip sack. Losing Winston for the year with a torn ACL is pretty brutal. But hey, they still have Alvin Kamara and that defense. And that makes them dangerous on any given Sunday. Even if they have to ride Siemian the rest of the way, a wildcard berth is looking pretty good. Number 9, Las Vegas Raiders. Last time's ranking, 10. The 5-2 Raiders enjoyed a bye week and had to love seeing the Chargers lose at home to the Patriots. The AFC West is theirs to lose at this point. A road contest against the New York Giants is next, followed by a pivotal home game against the Chiefs. Number 8, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time's ranking, 4. It only felt like a matter of time until the Bucs put up another stinker. The injuries to key players are mounting, and the Saints aren't exactly a pushover compared to the Dolphins, Eagles, and Bears. The Saints laid out the formula for beating Brady in his high-powered passing game. And if you don't let their front seven take over on defense, you can easily dice up their depleted secondary. Yes, they still lead the division, but this loss hurts Tampa's bid for top spot in the conference. Number 7, Baltimore Ravens. Last time's ranking, 9. It was a great bye week for the Ravens. The Browns and Bengals both lost, meaning John Harbaugh's team now sits atop the AFC North. And just look at the next 3 games. Versus Minnesota, followed by trips to Miami and Chicago. Their division lead should only grow over the next 3 weeks. Number 6, Buffalo Bills. Last time's ranking, 7. It was harder than expected, but the Bills avoided an upset at home against the Dolphins. But guess what? Buffalo has the Jaguars and Jets next on their schedule. Yep, it's looking like you can already chalk them up for another division title. Number 5, Dallas Cowboys. Last time's ranking, 6. Stop hating on the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy already. This team just beat Minnesota on the road with Cooper Rush as their quarterback. Can Dan Quinn just be named Assistant Coach of the Year already? The Cowboys are rolling. They may as well start making room for their 2021 NFC East Division Champions banner. Of course, the team is aiming for more, and they sure look like a prime Super Bowl contender at this point. Number 4, Tennessee Titans. Last time's ranking, 5. The Titans pulled off a thrilling comeback win against the Colts, which all but locked up a second straight AFC South Division title. Losing Derrick Henry is a blow to their hopes to winning the AFC's top seed. But could they have him back for the playoffs? And what does Adrian Peterson have left in the tank? It'll be fun to watch as the Titans try to retain their status as the conference's top dog. Number 3, Arizona Cardinals. Last time's ranking, 1. The Cardinals were on the wrong side of one of the craziest endings in recent memory. No clue what the ill-fated throw to AJ Green was all about. Yes, they're still 7-1 and clearly a Super Bowl threat. But man, a win over Green Bay puts you in the driver's seat. You cannot miss those opportunities. Anywho, it's on to San Francisco in Week 9. Number 2, Los Angeles Rams. Last time's ranking, 3. The Rams predictably destroyed the Texans on the road. A nice end to a great week that saw the rival Cardinals fall on Thursday Night Football. And oh, Von Miller is now lining up alongside Aaron Donald, as if Sean McVay's group couldn't get any scarier. By the way, is there a better connection in the NFL right now than the Matthew Stafford to Cooper Kupp? Number 1, Green Bay Packers. Last time's ranking, 2. So let's get this straight. They beat the NFL's lone undefeated team, on the road without their top 3 receivers, and now they share the NFL's best record at 7-1. That right there is how you take over top spot in our power rankings. The Packers were without several key players, most notably Devontae Adams. But Joe Barry's defense gave Kyler Murray problems all game long. And now Green Bay is sitting pretty in a 3-way tie for the NFC's top seed. Something tells me Aaron Rodgers is happy he stayed in Green Bay. But who do you think is the NFL's best team entering Week 9? Join us in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.